Hi, welcome to this special feature of Cthulhu Rise of the Cults from Red Imp Games. I say special feature because I'm not going to show you a full playthrough. I just want to demonstrate how the game plays in a very short video. It's 1 to 4 players. I don't have the solitaire rules. If I had the solo rules, and once I get hold of the solo rules, maybe I can give you a full playthrough. But what I've done here is I've set up a 2-player game. We're in round 2. And in this game, we are taking on the roles of cult leaders worshipping the great old ones in this Cthulhu mythos. What you see in front of you here is the city of Arkham split into 4 districts. We've got a planning board here. This is going to be where we're going to do some of our worker placement, which is knocking out Rivertown, one of the 4 districts of the town that's not used during a 2 and 3 player game. It's an interesting mix of mechanisms, which is why I wanted to show it to you, because we have worker placement going on here. We have a board where you're scoring victory points, and you're scoring victory points by having the most influence on the board, and you're going to have influence in areas like this where you place dominance markers, and this is the main mechanism of the game. And there aren't a great many spots here to place dominance markers. You can see in a 3-player game you've got 3 districts, or a 2-player game you've got 3 districts, and there's 3 each, and you're going to score for having the most. And also these points here, these cult site markers, and there's only 1 spot for each player. So you're going to be earning influence here, these are called dominance markers, remember. And also by playing these rituals on these ritual sites. Right, so tokens on the board to win dominance. But the other interesting thing is that you have cards here that you can acquire and add to your personal deck. So this is going to be a deck building mechanism. Right, you start with a basic set of cards, and you're going to be adding to these cards from these different districts. Now if there was a 4th district in play, we'd have more cards. These are back in the box. Alright, so we've got worker placement, we've got counters here for placing victory, and we've got a deck that is used to control your actions on the board, and actually you use your deck to pay for the costs of the workers you place. So on a turn, what you're going to see is a planning phase where you're placing workers. Then you're going to be acting out these different actions. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spots here. There's a maximum of 2 tokens for each one. You're going to be acting out these actions and paying for them. And you pay for them using your cards. And your cards can be upgraded. And one of the actions is to actually upgrade your deck by taking more cards. And some of these cards don't just provide you with the resources you need to pay costs. They also give special abilities. Okay, and the aim of all this together is that ultimately you're trying to place dominance in these regions to give you the number of points you need to win. The game is controlled by a round marker, so you'll play a fixed number of rounds. You can, if you wish, agree to play more rounds, and after so many rounds you will stop, you count how many points you have, and then declare the winner. Let's show you the different phases of the game and how this plays out. As I say, you're going to be trying to get dominance. To get dominance, you put these counters down. To put these counters down, you need rituals. These are rituals. You take an action that allows you to terrorize this district. If you successfully terrorize this district, you get to place these dominance tokens. Other players can be countering your ability to dominate and terrorize this region, placing their own rituals. In order to place rituals, you need to first have a cult site marker here. And to place a cult site marker is again another one of these actions. And this is going to cost you power. Power is this blue resource given by your cards. But there's a final mechanism here that I wanted to show you. And again, this is part of the game in that not only do your cards give you the resources you need, so power to take commands and to place these tokens, the cult sites and your rituals, but also these terror ones that allow you to terrorize the neighborhood, and also these attack resources. There's basically 3 types of resources. Attack to win dominance, terror to terrorize, and power to upgrade your deck. And you also roll dice every turn to give you a random selection of tokens that supplement your cards. Right, so another interesting layered in mechanism. Let's start with the first phase of the game. The first phase of the game is when an event happens. This is called the city phase. We draw top card from the deck and it tells us what happens. Snitches, it says. In the cult phase, players draw 5 cards instead of 6. And also we advance an investigator in Rivertown. Rivertown's out of play. This is another interesting mechanism that advances the game forward. The cost of cards, of terrorizing, the cost of earning dominance in a district is influenced by the number of investigator tokens. Every time one of these tokens moves forward, it moves down this track. You can see that if you're playing a 4-player game, it starts up here, 3-player here, 2-player here. So if this had advanced the track here, it would have moved here. Once this investigator, these are the investigators trying to kind of counter our activity, advances to this spot, a new investigator gets added, which can then investigate, and these things start to build up. And as they build up, they start adding to the costs of stuff. So you can see to buy this card here, for example, and add it to your deck, it costs 2 power plus 1 times the number of investigators. So at this point it would cost us 3 here, it would cost 5. Alright, as it goes. This hasn't moved forward just yet. Alright, so these city cards are advancing these investigators and doing stuff. But it's also left a little story effect on the game. So in the cult phase, players draw 5 cards instead of 6. So let's see how that plays out. Here's the yellow player. I've got 2 players. They've got a little screen that they hide all their resources behind. A little reference chart on there. So normally you would draw 6 cards from your deck at this point, but because of this effect, we're only drawing 5. Okay, here's my disc, my deck, here's my discard pile, and the 5 cards now. So this turn is going to be a little bit more restrictive on the resources available to us. Red player's first player, they draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Normally 6. Just because of snitches, we're drawing only 5. This is called the mobilization phase, that drawing of cards. Some cards have abilities that act during mobilization. Okay, we don't have any in our hands. You check your hands. Do you have any cards that do stuff during mobilization? No, we don't. But something like this says if you have this cult card in your hand during mobilization, so when you draw it, immediately draw 1 more, or destroy this card and draw 3 more. Alright, so it's a nice way to increase and get a boosted up hand. The next phase is called recruitment, and this is where you roll the dice. Alright, so let's roll. Red players first. They draw 3 red tokens and 1 blue. This is 1 power, 3 attack. Attack, these are going to help us dominate our opponent's power, help us upgrade our deck and place rituals and so on. Power's good, power's really good, especially at the beginning. Put these behind your screen. You'll notice you can actually have more tokens because you get to save up to 5 from a previous turn. Right. Yellow rolls. Alright, 2 green, 1 blue, 1 red. Now we move into the planning phase. So we've drawn, we've rolled, planning. Starting with the red player, they're the one with the first player token. And you've got 4 planning tokens. And you're going to take turns placing them. There's only one place you can place these, but what you're saying is, I want to act in this district. And the order you place them is significant, and understanding what you're going to do with those tokens is significant. It really only makes sense when you understand the game. So let's start placing these out. So let's say red decides to place 1 here. Yellow does the same. Red goes here. Yellow goes here. Red places another one here. Yellow places one on top. Red goes here. Yellow goes here. Okay, this has created an interesting situation. That's why I wanted to show it to you, really. Right, so that's it. We've planned. So we've planned where we want to perform actions within Arkham City. We now move to the action phase, and this is where we start to act them out. There's only 3 stacks, right? Because there's only 3 districts in play. First player goes first. If they have one of their tokens on the top of a stack, they can take it off and place it on the board. Red doesn't, so they have to skip their turn. So yellow's played more cleverly here and blocked out red. So yellow's jumped ahead a little bit and said, right, actually I'm going to go first. And now they get to place to withdraw one of their tokens. Let's withdraw this one. Okay, so we're going to act in this district now, downtown. Okay, this little segment here. So there's 2 decks of cards we could buy from. There's spots here where we can place our cult site markers. I've already got a cult site marker here, so I don't need to place one down, but having one here means I can now play rituals. Rituals, if I place them here, means I can get dominance, and that's my route to victory. Okay, got it? Alright, so we can act, and we know red's not going to act here. So what I might actually try and do, if I've got enough power, is place a ritual here. So I take my token and say, well, which action am I now going to take? And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things I can do. I can either, called bluff, I can pass and take 2 tokens. So I don't know, I need some power. I've got lots of power, but maybe I didn't have enough, or maybe I feel I need some more attack tokens. I could take them. I could place my token here and say I'm going to take 2 terror or 2 attack, or maybe 1 attack and 1 power. Okay, any mixture of 2 tokens. Right, that's kind of the nice default action. If you haven't got enough stuff in your hand to do the other bits, go here, get some more tokens, and then on a subsequent action you can do something else. Let's go in here. This is the preparation action. And the first thing it says is we must advance an investigator token in this region. So we move this guy. He's already moved down 1 step, so we've got to move him again. He's going to move in here. Now the cost of actions here is going to take 1 more, because there's an investigator token here. And we place a new one to fill the spot on the 2 players, because we're playing 2 players. Everything's nice and streamlined in this game. It's quite fast moving as well. Okay, so we've done this bit. Now we can take this part here. We can place 5 power plus 1 times the number of investigators, so 6 power, to place our cult site marker here. But we've already done that, so we don't need to do that again. The second part is, if you've got a cult site marker here, which we do, we can now place a ritual. There's 3 rituals we can place. There's a level 1, a level 2, or level 3. Now if you look at the Kickstarter campaign, you'll see that they've actually changed these. These are mock-ups for what the final miniatures might look like. But the idea is that there's 3 levels of ritual: level 1, level 2, level 3. And the higher the level, the more terror you can inflict, and the more powerful you are in the confrontation phase to win that the opportunity to inflict terror on the district. Now which one you want to play is going to cost you more power. So if you want to play the 1, it's going to cost you 1 power, the 2 is going to cost you 2 power, and the 3 is going to cost you 3 power. You've only got 2 of these, and 1 of these. Let's place this one. So that's going to cost me 3 power, plus the fact that there's 1 here as well. So this is what it shows you on this board. You must have a cult site to play a 3 level. You need to play 3 power plus 1 times the number of investigators, 4, and then you place a ritual. So let's see what we can do. We've got lots of stuff we can do with our cards, so I need 4. So I can just play these 2 cards. If I didn't have enough power, I could supplement it with these tokens. So that would be 1, 2, 3. Yeah, but I've got enough. I've got 4 power icons here. I can discard these, place my level 3 ritual in this district, and what that means, and there's 3 spots for 2 player, there's 4 spots for 4 player, 5 spots if you're playing 4 player. Okay, you can't place more rituals here than there are spaces. But what that means is, what I'm trying to do is increase the rituals here to do enough to overcome this sanity level of the population of the district, which at the moment is 4 plus 1, 5. I've got 3, I need more than 5. If I can get more than 5 here, then I can terrorize the neighborhood. Now I can supplement this. I can supplement it with these tokens and cancel my hand. So if I get enough here to win, to overcome the sanity here and terrorize the neighborhood, I get to put these tokens down. Right, so that's what I'm aiming towards, that's what I'm trying to achieve. As it goes, that's our action finished. Now it goes back to the red player. Now we look at the top of the stacks. This stack's empty now, so there's nothing going on here. So red's looking for a token here. There's no red tokens, so it's yellow player's turn again. And let's choose this token. Alright. So let's take a token from here. Now we're acting in the Uptown district. Now you might say, well, this is bad planning. Surely you should be trying to terrorize over there. Well, yes, we should have done. Alright, but next time, next turn, next round, we can start terrorizing here, because they'll persist if red doesn't do something about it. Alright, yellow, let's try and get a ritual down here. We've got a cult site here as well. And let's see what's going to happen. This will advance. So the cost to place one ritual down here is at most, is a minimum of 2, and I've only got 1 power left in my hand. Okay, this token here, nothing in my cards. Alright, so we haven't got enough power to do that. In fact, we haven't got enough power because I've only got 1 to buy any cards either. So maybe this is a bit of a bluff action, and what I'll do instead is, well, I could take this action. This is called the influence action, and it's a little bit of a saver. We place our planning token here, and what it says is we can move one of my ritual markers to this district and increase its level by 1. So why don't we just have a quick change of plan. Let's pull this one back. We'll play this blue token instead, and we'll have put a level 2 down here instead of a level 3. Right? Let's just be a little bit clever. Let's plan ahead a little bit. Now we're taking the influence action. We can move any ritual to this district and increase its level by 1. Bang. We've managed now to gain some influence in Uptown just by using actions placed in a different district. Pretty neat, huh? Now what we get to do is we can either, you don't have to do this is optional as well, you can either draw a card from your deck or discard a card from your discard pile. Okay, discard or draw. So this becomes a neat little deck thinning mechanism. I can either draw this card or I could chuck one of these cards away, and that means that the strength of my deck will increase. You know, I don't like drawing these. I want to draw more power, so I might want to throw this one away. Okay, and I think I'll do that. This goes back to the box. Alright, next time I draw up, I know I'm not going to draw this card. I'm thinning my deck and making it stronger, hopefully. That's it, turn over. Alright, let's look at some of these other actions. It's red to go, and there is a spot they can pull a token from, but it's only in Uptown. And let's see, let's try doing, I mean, he'd like to do a ritual here as well as it goes, but yeah, why don't we do that? Let's just do that. Alright, we'll put one here. We'll increase this. New token goes in. We pay 5 power to place one of our skulls. Alright, so we can't place rituals here because we don't have a cult site marker. We have to put a cult site marker here, and it's going to cost 5 plus 1 is going to cost 6 power. So red, I mean, they got lots of power as it goes. 2, 4, 6, there we go. Now red has a cult site here. We can start playing rituals here. Without it, we can't. This is also going to give you 1 victory point. Alright, so at the moment, yellow's got 1, 2, 3 victory points. This doesn't count for anything if you don't have a ritual. Okay, so red has currently got 0 points. This one doesn't count because there's no rituals here. However, no one's got dominance over here, but red's got a ritual and a cult site, so they got 1 victory point. Versus 1, 2, 3. Okay, yellow's winning. Whoever's got the most rituals on the board at the end of the game also gets a victory point. There's a tie right now. Okay, yellow's turn. So let's see, what should we do? Grab this one and place it down here and grab 2 power. Okay, red's turn. Red's got a token here, so we're acting now in the north side district, and we could fight for dominance over here. We could grab a card. I think we are going to fight for dominance because I want to show you how the action works, but let's show you how to grab a card first. Here. So we're going to go into this action. This is called augmentation. You need either a cult site or a ritual marker here. That's what this bit says. Then we pay for one of these cards. This card gives 2 power, and it says during augmentation, instead of using the symbols on the card, destroy it and place your level 1 ritual marker in any district for free. This one got no special, but it gives lots of cultist tokens. I'm going to take this one. and this goes straight to my hand. Alright, so red player gets this in their hand, not their discard pile, their hand. They can't use it on this action, but next time we put one of our planning tokens down and take an action, we can use it because it's in our hand. Alright, yellow's turn, and there's a token here, so they can act in the Uptown district. And this time we're going to try and fight for dominance, so let's place it down here. It says you must have a ritual token. The next bit says that our opponent has an opportunity to move their ritual tokens into this district with us. They do have a ritual on the board, it's over here. So if they don't do it, then this is going to be uncontested and we're going to terrorise this neighbourhood. So what we've done, and this is where the simple streamlined rules actually have lots of layers of strategy, because what we've done is we've said, look, either you've got to bring this guy over and contest, or I'm going to go in here for free. And that means this guy comes in here, and he can't get a free terrorise action over here on north side. So Uptown is now contested. There's ritual markers from 2 different players here on the board. Now all players, remember there could be 3 or 4 players, will contest this district. Now to do this, we're going to play either thugs, these tokens that we've earned. Let's do that. Let's place 2 thugs, plus any number of cards from our hand face down. I think we're going to use these 2. We're going to save this one. Okay, they go face down. The other important thing is these tokens are kept hidden from your opponent in a fist. They don't know how many tokens you're playing, so you're all bluffing. Potentially, okay, playing this game. They can see that you're playing 2 cards. They can see you've got a fist, but don't know how many tokens are in there. Okay, let's just hide these under here for now. Right? Red player does the same. I've done this secretly, so you can't see. All right. The next thing then is we reveal. We start because we're the one who initiated the confrontation, and we reveal. And you can see I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, or if I choose, I can get rid of these. Okay, so I can destroy this card, goes back to the box, and add 2 tokens to this confrontation. Okay, so now I've got 5. Now I could go again. I can see they've only played 1 card, so I've decided 5 is good enough. Maybe there's 2. Yeah, I've decided 5 is good enough. Alright, so 5 for me. Now my opponent's reveal, and we'll see how this plays out. They played 5 as well. There's a tie. Ties are not good. Not what it means is this all gets discarded. These get removed, and players received a disorganized card. These go to their decks. Basically, they clog up your deck with nonsense, stuff that does nothing. Okay, but let's assume that didn't happen. Let's say I was feeling cautious and wanted to get rid of this as well. So I got rid of this one, and I did 2 more thugs. Okay, 2 more attack, and got 6. So now we have 6 versus 5. Alright, we win this time. Yellow wins. These get discarded. These get discarded. Everything gets discarded. But the player who lost the confrontation, or players who lost, gets a disorganized card, goes to their discard pile. They lose their ritual from this district. And now we move into the terror phase. This is non-mandatory. You don't have to terrorize the neighborhood, because you may find that you haven't got enough resources left to do so. But we do. So first thing yellow does is look at the level of sanity in the neighborhood. It's 4 plus 1. So this is going to go up as time goes by. Right. So the current level of sanity is 5. We need more than 5 as our terror level to successfully terrorize this neighborhood. And we've only got 3. It's equal to the sum of our rituals. This is a level 3 ritual. Okay, if we had a 2 here, that would be 5. Still not good enough. 6. Okay, that would be good. Now we've got 6 versus 5. Okay, we got 3 versus 5, but it's okay. It's not over just yet. The action board here reminds us that we can add cards from our hand or tokens, terror tokens, to exceed the level of sanity plus investigation. So it's 3 versus 5 right now. I've got 2 tokens. I can use these 2 terror tokens. That gives me 5. 5 versus 5. I still need at least 1 more, and I've got 1 more in my hand. Okay, that's all I have. I'll discard this. That gives me the 6 I need. Now I've won, and I get to take one of these dominance tokens and place it in the region. Now it's looking much better. That's 3, 4 victory points here now. You'll notice yellow already had 2 here. If you go in and terrorise successfully uncontested without this confrontation phase between players, then you get to place 2 dominance tokens. Now other players will come in, so if red comes in and gets dominance here, they can kick these tokens off. Alright, so red's got to now do the thing of fighting back. So I think what red's going to do, they can act in this neighbourhood, they've got a token left, and we'll place it here in preparation. Now it says max 2, but that's 2 per colour. So there's 3 tokens here, but only 2 red. Now first we need to move the investigator up. We don't need to do this part because we've already got a cult site marker here, but then we get to place rituals. So we're still acting in Uptown. This moves forward. It hasn't gone far enough yet. I'm going to pay 1, 2, 3 plus 1. That will allow me to place a level 2 ritual here. Or I can supplement with my hand. Yeah, so I might actually take one of those tokens back, power token back. We'll put our level 3 in here. Concluded that action. Yellow's got no more planning tokens left, so it's red here in north side. So red is going to play augmentation once more. And we're going to pay, there's nothing here, so 2 power to earn a card. Or I'm going to do this, which is augmentation. Instead of using the symbols on this card, destroy it and place your level 1 ritual marker anywhere in the district for free. So augmentation says this is the phase it happens. So get rid of this, destroy it, and place this level 1 ritual in any district for free. I'll place it here. And now we've ended the planning phase. We move into what's called the hiding phase, the final phase of the round. You start by discarding all cards from your hand. So this is why it's important to use your cards rather than your tokens. If you've got more than 5 tokens, you discard down to 5. First player marker moves to the next player, and we advance the round marker. And that's it, we've reached the end of the round. We start again. Next round we draw a card. So this one's called Curfew. Until the end of the current round, ritual markers of level 1 only may be moved by the influence plan. Okay, so that little move of getting this 3 moved across here, this was banned now. But now Northside, Downtown, Rivertown and Uptown all have their investigation tokens moved. So the game properly advances. And this is it, this is how the game progresses. So you can see there's lots of different layers, lots of different cards that offer different levels to the game. So that's Cthulhu Rise of the Cults. A very, very streamlined, very fast paced deck building, worker placement, area control game from Christoph Woloki and Red Imp Games.